Less than half of American adults have a will. Making a plan today is important. For what you need to know, Bill took a trip up I-29 to chat with Mark Falter, the president of Mid-American Wealth Advisory.
Let's talk about estate planning. Seems like a broad term. What is it and why is it so important to have a good estate plan?
Well, it's a lot like life insurance. You know, you don't really get an estate plan for you. You get it for the people left behind. And one of the biggest reasons is so that people can leave things to the beneficiaries and it not pass through probate. So if you ever ask people what's the #1 reason they do an estate plan, it's to avoid probate.
Well, let's talk about that for our next question. What is probate and how do we familiarize ourselves with it and put ourselves in the most advantageous position?
Well, the thing you got to realize, everything that has value to it has to have a beneficiary. If it doesn't have a beneficiary, then there's a legal process in putting a beneficiary on it, and that's called probate. And probate is a public process, meaning that if an estate goes through probate, you can actually look up probate estates on the internet and find all kinds of good things about people's assets and who the beneficiaries are, and it's a costly process and a time-consuming process. I've seen it take 5 to 10% of a person's entire estate in costs on probate and delays the payment of the proceeds. Like my father-in-law died and within a week we had his house because we had it in a trust. And that's probably one of the best aspects of estate planning is owning a trust.
Now, I've heard about that a lot, is people will oftentimes put, like you said, real estate in a trust. Talk about that process. Is it expensive? Is it something that single people need to worry about or married people? Or is there a cost difference between either two?
Yes, so there's 2 types of estate plans. There's really only 2. It's not as hard as most people think. And we do workshops on them all the time, and I do radio shows on them on the weekend. But in estate plan, there's 2 types of estate plans. You can either have a will or a trust. Now, there's multiple different types of trust, but for the most part, 95% of the people listening today or watching today are going to need a living revocable trust, meaning that you can change it after you start it. Price differential between a trust and a will. Now, we have a very close relationship with an attorney that works right on our same floor here that will do an estate plan for $1,250, which is an extremely good price for a trust. He'll do a will for $900 for a married couple.
Well, especially when you can lose up to 10 or 15%, like you said, when you go through probate. To spend that money initially probably puts you in an advantageous position so you don't have to deal with that later on in life.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot easier for the kids. The kids will thank you. You get with a estate plan. Any good estate plan should really come with multiple parts. Of course, the trust, and then you got the pour over will, so in case you don't fund the trust, the will run it through probate. Then it comes with a durable power of attorney for financial matters, then one for health care, and then a beneficiary deed. A lot of people don't know, but you can Google this. What happens to your real estate if it's jointly owned and you and your spouse both die? What do you think happens? Most people think it goes to the kids. No, it goes to probate. Google it. In the state of Missouri or Kansas, without a beneficiary deed, that's where it'll go, and that comes with any good estate plan.
To get connected with Mid-American Wealth Advisory, go to bettermoneykc.com or call 844-777-MARK.